What's going on, everybody? We're back and we're talking about J. Cole's 6th studio album. I double checked that time. I know I got it wrong on the Kendrick Lamar Damn breakdown, so apologies. It haunts me to this day. All of your comments haunt me to this day, so thank you for that. But this is his first solo album, really, since KOD. And even that was kind of a surprise drop that dropped on 420. It was just kind of like a care package type thing. So we're really going all the way back to 2016 with For Your Eyes Only if we're talking about what is the last J. Cole proper album drop. He's absolutely back. He's got some shit to say. And real quick, we do a live stream every Tuesday or Thursday right here on YouTube, so subscribe for that. We talk about music, movies, TV shows, anything. We just have a good time, so definitely go hang out with us over there. So as for the actual album itself, it was absolutely a comeback album. It was really cool that that was actually the purpose of the album, was that it was, you know, to show off the skill and the training and all that stuff that he's done in the off season and the off time. Yeah, man, what'd you think about it?
Yeah, I definitely think this album, he had some of the best performances since his Born Sinners album, or even some tracks off of Forest Hill Drive. You know, I think the one thing I really wanted from the new album, the one thing I wanted to try and predict, as I mentioned in the live stream the other week, was that J. Cole was going to come at us with something new, like a sound that we haven't heard before, something he's never tried. Thinking back to like For Your Eyes Only, which is a great album, but a little too subdued for me, a little too soft. I wanted a little bit more of an edge from him because I knew that he was capable of it. So I wanted something of that sorts in this next project, which is basically exactly what he delivered. He came in with new vocal filters, new flows, new delivery, stuff I've never heard him try before, even adopting like trendier, you know, the kind of higher pitched, you know, with his voice and stuff like that, playing with playing with the auto tune, stuff that's it's trendy now, but he kept it within the realm of what we know J. Cole to be known for, which is his, you know, conscientious rap, but done, I felt like, in a much more nuanced way on this album. And so I felt that the main takeaways from this album was that it felt super grounded and real. Definitely some of the most gritty beats and flows that we've heard him on. And it felt like everything he said on every track was something important, something that I could learn from. And so just from that, like, the potency of his voice on this album probably stood out the most above all of his other performances on all of his other albums for me. And so that was like my favorite thing, is that he pretty much delivered exactly what I was waiting for.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love when artists do that. And if I could compare him to one of the few artists I would label as like his peer, like someone who's equal to him, I would compare this album to Damn by Kendrick Lamar, because like what you said, it's this kind of gritty, real like reinvention of themselves. You know, they've carved out that identity that they've had, you know, in the 2015 era, 2013, you know, quote unquote the blog era, but they've been able to reinvent themselves and add new things, like, you know, Kendrick with the flow, I remember on DNA, I believe, or humble, sorry. And also one thing that I wanted to point out that, you know, a lot of people were surprised by was the fact that we did in fact get features on the album. You know, you guys know the joke. J. Cole went double platinum, no features and all that. And one thing that I think was really cool was that they hid it from the viewers or listeners for the first weekend or first night. I don't know what the exact kind of time frame was, but they did not show who was featuring on what song. And I thought that was a really cool moment. Made that first listening experience very memorable. You know, it reminds me of Astroworld. I remember our first time listening to that, we were like texting each other across the country, like, yo, like, you know, Drake is on sicko mode. What? You know, like, who's that dude on Can't Say? Is that Akon?
Right.
And obviously it's Don Toliver. He is amazing, and he is amazing to this day. And so that was a really cool kind of introduction to him. It's very memorable, and I love that. I love having those moments with artists that they don't even know about, you know?
Right.
So yeah, what'd you think about the fact that we got some features?
Yeah, I was really happy that we did. I love Cole. I feel like he can obviously hold his own for a whole album, but I felt like the features were used really, really nicely on this album. Like, they were definitely calculated. Everyone had their moment. Like, everyone had their chance to stand out and also like contribute to the things that he was saying, while also giving us like a fresh take on each track. Just because I feel like if I had 40 minutes of just J. Cole spitting the hardest bars he could, I would feel like exhausted. So it was nice to have other people contribute to these songs and definitely add much needed mix and flavor to this album. So I also love that they didn't show the features, that first initial listen. I feel like that element of surprise like brings the magic for the first listen, the first time you ever listen to an album. Rather than going, oh, you see like Drake is on this album, let me just go straight to the Drake feature and then not care about how the album is sequenced at all. Like people do that. So I feel like he wanted to make sure people received and consumed the album the right way. And so I feel like hiding the features was definitely the right move.
Yeah. And if we're talking about the features, we might as well just go into our standouts, a couple of which have, some of our features, like you said. It's not one of those times where the standouts are like the only good songs on the album. The whole album is great. Go check it out. Go listen to it. We recommend it. But these are some of our personal favorites. My first one that I'm going to highlight is My Life. We got a 21 Savage feature, which was so crazy, so hard. I was screaming when this happened. I was looking around at my empty room with yeah. Thank you for catching me there. But yeah, I was literally looking around my room to nobody and being like, yo, you see this right now? You see this is insane? Yo, you see what he's doing? There was also like an edit someone made of a lot and transitioning into My Life like seamlessly. I don't know how to describe it other than Sopranos hip hop, where it's that big boss mafia hip hop, but you got some struggles in there.
Yeah, definitely. That track is insane. Probably one of the most like Savage 21 Savage lines delivered there. But one of my highlights is another incredible feature. Pride is the Devil definitely had me feeling like there was an Amine feature coming up, the way that this is the exact same melody as Compensating off of Amine's album.
Right.
Instead of an Amine feature, we got an incredible Lil Baby feature, someone who's been on some tracks recently, thinking about his track with Drake on Wants and Needs, another incredible feature run right there. But I feel like what's the most impressive is how smooth they go from J. Cole's verse into Lil Baby's verse, which caught me way off guard. But yeah, Lil Baby like just absolutely snaps on this, talks about himself, talks about his career, and kind of merge the two worlds of the up and coming or the new generation and this past generation, I guess, coming together and creating definitely one of my most memorable moments on this album for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. What a moment. My next highlight gonna be 100 Mil, man. This is personally, in my opinion, it might be J. Cole's most replayable song. I've just like it'll just come on and I'm like I'm not gonna skip it. Like I've never skipped this song. This whole album feels like it would be ripe for like the NBA Finals if they had that be the soundtrack.
Dude, I was just gonna say, like, bro made a NBA 2K album. Yes, especially this song with the little whistle sample.
And also, I believe, I don't know if this is true. I might just be saying stuff, but I feel like the end there's that part where it's like 100 mil and I'm still. I feel like that's Boz. And his singing voice is amazing throughout the album. He sings throughout the album, but it sounds great. He sounds amazing on it.
Another highlight for me, definitely from this album, is actually the standout single that we got first before the album came out, Interlude. Even though I'm sure people are like, they don't really listen to the single once the whole album's out. To me, this single stands out, like, even in the context of the entire album, even after listening to all the songs, like, it's still one of my highlights. Honestly, like, I feel like it goes over all the major themes in the album and also introduces all the major, like, musical motifs, the new flows, the new vocal inflections that J. Cole's gonna show us throughout this whole project. But just something about the melody, something about the beat, the structure of the song, like, still goes insanely hard for me. And I just feel like it stands above the rest, even though we've listened to it several times by now and there's all these other songs, like, it still is like a highlight for me, maybe just because of I was just looking forward to it so much when it first came out, because I was like, okay, like, what's the new sound, and it got me so excited to where I feel like there's only a few other tracks that matches this energy on the album. But Interlude, definitely a standout for me and kind of carries the second half of the entire album too.
My third and last standout, has to be Let Go My Hand. Introspective J. Cole, if you love that J. Cole, man, this must have been amazing for you. This must have been everything you wanted and more, because he gets into everything. He gets into, you know, fatherhood and how the kind of father he wants to be and what kind of values he wants to inflect on his children. And also he gets to talk a little bit of he gets to say some bars. he gets to get some introspective bars off, and I personally love that laid back J. Cole. The ambiance is very interesting. It's absolutely a standout. I really love it, man. It's just such a yeah. Anyways, what's your next standout, bro?
Yeah, my last standout.
We're recording this pretty kind of late, in case you can't tell.
Yeah. My last standout will definitely be Amari, the second track on the album. This was one of those moments where I had to take a step back and look up, similar to how you did with 21 Savage's feature, and be like, is this really J. Cole? Like, this is some crazy shit right here. I feel like it's like, you know, it's familiar. It's like that hard, you know, hip hop that we're used to, but hearing it from J. Cole just makes it sound that much more aggressive, that much more potent, that much more like in my face, to where I'm like, damn, dude, like this dude is rapping his ass off right now. And that's something I've been craving from J. Cole. So like when Amari hit, I was like, damn, dude, he is snapping on this beat right now. His performance and the use of that higher pitch auto tune like gave this song an insanely hard flow, and like just something so stripped back but also so large at the same time, all due to his performance. This and maybe Interlude and one of the other like hard hitting songs are what this project is all about, which is showing like he still has those bars. In the past two albums, it's been a lot of storytelling. I mean, people love that, you know, people love the introspective, the storytelling, but like
and we get a little bit of it on this album.
But we still do, of course. Even on this album, but I feel like what he wanted to remind us of is that he's still a rapper. Like he's still a rapper. Like he's still got the bars on him, even especially with his freestyle on the radio show during the rollout of this album. Like
I don't know if this was what sparked that feeling of let me just go as hard as I can, but I feel like one of the most important moments to highlight is the fact that he speaks about this in the documentary. He wondered, do I want to look back and be like, damn, I didn't work with anybody? Like, do I want to be that guy who just straight up doesn't work with anybody? And then he just started snapping on a bunch of different songs, a bunch of different beats, Shea Butter Baby, you know, the London.
Yeah, his big feature run that year.
Yeah, so it was really cool to just see him snap, no bigger concept to it, and it kind of feeds into now with the off season. Now he's able to do that and still have a big concept, and you know, with the fall off era, which I'm excited for, and I actually do want to discuss a little bit. This is a little interesting because, you know, we're reviewing it, but it's with the asterisk that we're really reviewing the foundations of this bigger vision that J. Cole has called the fall off, which we discussed in very vivid detail on our deep dive. Go check that out again. And I got a question for you, man, because anytime you make something that is part of a bigger picture, you know, sometimes people will have that critique of maybe it was to the detriment, you know, maybe it doesn't stand alone on its own. Sean C. even described it as, you know, it feels like crumbs from a 5-star meal. I was wondering what you thought about that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I get that sentiment. I think, if anything, it's hard to say that it's to the detriment of the project, mainly because I feel like once all 3 projects are out and we have everything in context, we have the whole story arc, then this will make perfect sense. It would be fine. But then it's like, do you look at your discography in a way that, it's every single project stands alone, or it's all one big cohesive discography? And so this definitely didn't technically feel like a complete album to me. It felt like we were ramping up and we were getting introduced to this fall off era, which is what I was expecting. But then when I took a step back and I'm like, okay, well, fall off's era aside, like, what is this album? What does it mean? Can it stand alone? And I definitely think it can in some regard. But if someone is looking for a little bit more depth, a little bit more, maybe even a longer project, then this isn't really the project for them. Of course, J. Cole goes in depth on a lot of difficult subjects here, But if we're thinking about conceptually as an idea, comparing it to Forest Hill Drive, comparing it to For Your Eyes Only, those are big conceptual albums that have a start to finish. I don't think there was much of a start to finish on this album. It was more of a fast to slow, if that makes sense. You know, there's still dynamic, but it wasn't as much of that character arc that he's known for. This is kind of a defining moment for J. Cole. Can he pull off a 3-album complete arc as an artist? You know, like that's a huge thing to entail. Like going that in depth, going that big picture on one idea, the fall off or the off season rather, is a huge undertaking. So it really depends on what you want from J. Cole. I'm in it for the ride. I definitely am waiting for that 5-star meal. If this is the appetizer,
this was a nice little duck tartare with balsamic dressing, you know.
Right. This was my little house salad that came at the beginning, you know, something like that. So I'm still here for it. I'm still at the table. So whatever he's gonna serve me next, I'm down. It's all part of the process of whatever picture J. Cole is trying to paint here.
Without further ado, man, let's get into the final rating on the OurThoughts scale.
J. Cole's 6th studio album, The Off Season, for me is a very strong 7 out of 10. 7 being high up on my scale of especially rap albums. I feel like rap albums can go south very quickly. This definitely left me wanting more, but in a good way. There were moments where I was extremely excited, extremely hyped to see J. Cole in a new element. But I'm ready for that main course. So at least in that regard, you know, J. Cole, you better it better live up. Better surpass
absolutely.
this album.
Yeah, I think when we get the bigger picture, these scores are subject to change, but as of right now, man, I'm going to give it a little bit of a high rating, man. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. 8 is kind of like the minimum for I love it, and I really do love this album, man. No skips, like I said. It's a nice, concise listen. 40 minutes. I really enjoyed this album. I've had to listen to this album so many times for the breakdown, for this review, and I'm still playing it. You know, I'm still gonna play it after this review. So, absolutely love this album.
Definitely. But yeah, that about does it for the off-season review. Appreciate you for watching this far. Yeah, we made it.
This is our fourth take. This is our fourth take doing it. Our cameras have cut off at different points in this review, and we've had to re-record it. So. Thank you.
It's been an uphill battle.
Say whatever God there is. Thank you.
We made it. But yeah, appreciate you. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check out J. Cole's album. If you have checked it out, let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you agree with us, if we got something wrong, we'll be lurking in the comments. So go ahead and comment your thoughts down below. Like we said, we live stream every single week on Tuesdays or Thursdays at 5 p.m. PST and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hit us up on the live streams. We have a nice little family over there, and we talk our shit on there. So if you want more Our Thoughts content, or we didn't get to something on this album or any album you possibly could think of, head over to the live stream and we'll talk about it there. Stay tuned for the deep dive of J. Cole's Off Season, where we go into the nitty gritty of every single song about what he has to say. That will be coming to your sub box very soon. Have a good Our Thoughts summer, and see you later. Peace out.